back to another episode of the Natty Teacher. I'm, of course, the Natty Teacher. Today's lesson, we got another leg day. Leg day. Yeah, buddy. Now, we got hamstrings and glutes on the docket today. You guys have seen this workout if you've watched my previous videos. Not really a whole lot of differences in between. We will have a few little minor tweaks here and there. I mean, just like with every workout. You find what works for you within certain exercises, and you find ways to make it even better. Okay, so it's just little improvements you can make into the gym, making the gym every single week. And then when you find that perfect routine, that perfect workout, then you do it again, and then you do it again, and you do it about 1,000 more times, and progressively get stronger at it, and better technique and form and tempo and all of those kind of things. There's always something you can do better in the gym. I firmly believe that. And I mean week to week too. It doesn't even have to be like, there's something you can do better once every, 2 months. There's something you can do better in the gym every single week. I firmly believe that. So, again, hamstrings and glutes on the docket. We will have some calves as well, and then also some direct abdominal training today after we are done with the core workout of hamstrings and glutes. And then that's about it, man. We have of course half-hour cardio, but that will be later on this afternoon. Today's my grocery shopping day, so I'm gonna go get all my gym stuff done, and then go home and pick up my wife real quick. And then we usually get our grocery shopping done, so we usually have a couple stores we have to go to. And that's about it, man. Doing some stuff around the house, hanging out. Heck yeah. So, also here's a little life tip for you, and this is just something because I was completely the opposite. But here's a tip for you, especially for you gentlemen out there. And, take my advice or don't. I'm no expert in relationships or lifestyle, but don't be the guy who just comes home and does nothing. What I mean by that is, even if you're like a consistent gym goer, like that's your motivation and all that kind of stuff, don't be the guy who comes home from work and comes home to your girlfriend, your wife or partner or whoever and just does nothing. Okay, don't be that guy. Always, I don't like to be like, you gotta be always grinding. I'm not, big into the whole, in terms of like, you gotta grind, man, you gotta grind. Like, just work hard. Work hard and, do stuff around the house. Do the dishes, clean the bathroom, do work outside, cut your grass, keep up on top of that stuff. You're not always gonna wanna do it, but I promise you, you're gonna feel better after. And then you're not the only one who's gonna benefit from that. Everyone else who is directly in your life, whether it's your wife, your partner, your dog, your kids, whoever, they're gonna benefit from it too. Okay, so don't be that guy who just comes home like, I'm tired from the gym. It's 5 o'clock at night. I go to bed at 11. I'm chilling for the next 6 hours. Don't be that guy. don't be that guy. Please don't. Work hard, and then when you think you're working hard, work just a little bit harder. Okay, and I trust me, I'm preaching to myself here too. I feel like I work really hard, but I can absolutely continue to work even harder, and I am doing that, and I will continue to for sure. Anyways. Hamstrings and glutes. On to the stuff you're here for. For our first exercise today, we always start with, it sounds a little odd, but some adductor. So we're actually working a little bit of inner thigh. We do have a little bit of quad work today as well, just a little bit. But inner thigh work, get those hips nice and opened up. So you'll catch the top set of adductor, nice and controlled, of course, coming at you right about now. As promised, top set of adductors coming at you. Now, what you're going to see here is I'm opening up those hips, and I'm controlling when I'm opening up those hips, and then I am squeezing those pads together here. Okay, you'll see that they actually touch. I am getting a nice full contraction, specifically in those inner thighs there, but I'm really feeling that on the outer glutes a little bit as well, kind of the upper outer thighs and, the outer portion of the glutes. Yeah, no, again, there's 2 working sets that we did here. As I kind of prefaced in the intro already, I really love doing adductors first just to get, and maybe this isn't the right term for it, but I think it is, so I'll continue to use it, just to get everything nice and loosened and opened up, okay? That's the way I like to look at it. Some people won't say that, but that's fine. That's just the way that I like to look at it. So get everything nice and opened up and get ready to rock and roll for some of the larger movements. So one thing I do in the off season, especially when I can on certain movements, is some assisted reps. So you'll see that I push my legs together when they're getting close, and then really control that retraction. So again, 2 working sets here, 1 top set, 1 back off set. Then lying hamstring curls, in my opinion, arguably one of, if not the king of all movements for hamstring. That didn't make any sense. One of the best hamstring movements for overall hamstring development. I mean, essentially, you are just lengthening those hamstrings as long as you possibly can and then shortening them as short as they possibly can, pretty much. So you can't really get any better than that. So we did 2 top sets here. I do like to keep the rep ranges a little bit higher. I would say in that 12 to 17 to 20 reps, something like that. 12 to 20 seems to work pretty good, maybe even 12 to 15. So we did a top set here. We were up 10 pounds from last week. We did lose a rep or two, but again, we were up 10 pounds or a couple reps, I don't know. But we were, using quite a bit more weight, so that felt good. Still felt comfortable. Range of motion was still solid. Again, trying not to use too much body English, but a little bit here and there is okay. 2 top sets, or 2 working sets, I should say, and then 1 back off set as well with that, 2 with that top weight. 1 dropped, we dropped the weight by 20% and kept going. Anyways, toe elevated Smith machine RDLs. Holy crapoli. Now, this was my first working set here, and I kind of was still feeling a little uncomfortable with the foot placement. I've never done this before. And you'll see that I kind of fudge it up just a little bit towards the end where I have to like readjust my feet, and it just wasn't ideal. But my second working set I did with this weight as well, and I was locked in. So it felt really, really good. You can see I like backed up a little too far there. See, I'm kind of messing with my feet. Again, still felt really good. But my second set, I was much, much more locked in. We did 2 sets of 20 plus reps. I think both were 21 reps on both sets here, with 2 plates and a 10. The stretch and the pump I had in my hamstrings after this was ungodly. It was ridiculous, man. So yeah, 2 working sets at that weight, both high reps. Now to a little bit of a lower rep, exercise for me, some some hip thrust. I was going to say a glute drive, but a hip thrust. So a Smith machine hip thrust here, continuing to climb up in weight. I actually did move my feet just ever so slightly back, especially on the second working sets. I did 2 working sets at this weight here at 5 plates. Again, this is not like an ego lift by any means. I'm really focusing on the top. So I'll show you right about here, you'll see that I hold and I'm squeezing my glutes together as hard as I can, and then just kind of control that retraction on the way down. I'm not doing like a 10-second, drop with my butt, but it's like a little 1, 2 kind of count there. So at least a little bit of control on that bottom portion, really trying to essentially load the glutes as much as we possibly can here. Again, 2 sets here, both were sets of 8. I did go for a 9th rep on this set here, but I ultimately did fail. But that's a good thing, because if you don't fail, you never know what you can actually beat in the future. Then some glute hyperextensions. Another one of my favorites. Absolutely going to hit your lower back too. So please don't be like, oh, I'm trying to, I did this exercise and I couldn't isolate my glutes enough. Well, I promise you, any kind of big hinging movement like this, there's no way to avoid the fact that you're going to fire in your erectors and lower back a little bit. It's impossible not to, okay? But it's about trying to get the most out of your glutes and hamstrings with this particular exercise. So what we're doing here, again, I've said this in my voiceovers before, but I'll say it again. One thing that I like to keep in mind is in that motion here, when I'm coming up, you'll see I pause at the top just ever so slightly. All I'm trying to picture is like pinching a quarter in between my butt cheeks, or pinching a pencil in between my butt cheeks, okay? So I'm squeezing my butt cheeks together, really flexing them hard, and then kind of releasing some of that tension as I come down and really stretching the glutes and hamstrings out. I love this exercise. It's phenomenal. Absolutely, again, is going to hit your lower back as well, but whoever said that, whoever said it was a bad thing to have a bad thing if you have a too muscular of a lower back? Absolutely not. Okay, so don't worry about trying to isolate it, but don't swing that body up either. Again, I've said this in my other voiceovers as well. I would highly recommend, if you're going to do this, I would start with your body weight and slowly build up in weight. I wouldn't just grab a 45-pound plate unless you have an extremely, extremely strong lower back and glutes and hamstrings. Then, and obviously you could throw some tension in there, but I would just start body weight for a while, establish a couple high rep sets there, and go from there. So we did 2 working sets. Top set here, I think, was 20, and then we did a back off set of 16 or 17. Anyways, looks like I'm showing you the setup here to the abductor. I must not have cut that part out. So you get a little sneak preview into how I set up for the abductor. Anyways, so again, kind of opening and closing here, but the reverse of the adductor here with the abductor. So what I'm trying to picture is I'm pushing my knees outwards. Okay, and I'm trying to flex that upper outer thigh and that outer portion of the glute and just hold in that fully lengthened position, that fully stretched position, I should say. Okay, so in this portion right here, you'll see that I hold for at least like a 1 count. So it's like boom, 1, hold, and then retract, and boom, 1, retract. Okay. Now, another thing that you can keep in mind too, when I'm bringing those knees closer together, I'm actually not allowing the weight stack to touch. So I'm bringing them just to the point where the weight stack would like rest, like the plate would like sit on the other plate. So right above that portion, that's where I want it to be. So 2 working sets here. Leg B workout in the books. Woo! 'Twas a doozy, I'll tell you. 'Twas a doozy, man. Felt great. Hamstrings and glutes are absolutely blasted. Calves are burning. Abs have been abbed. I'll tell you what, that was an awesome workout, man. Phenomenal stuff. So all I got for the rest of the day, I got a half-hour of cardio later on. I actually just had my post-workout meal. I'll tell you a little tip for you. I don't know why I strayed away from this. I don't know. It was dumb. I shouldn't have. My second meal, which is usually my oats and like whey isolate meal with some blueberries, some spinach, all that. It used to be in the past that I blended that up, and then I would just drink it like at work, because I, obviously at work, if I eat breakfast in the morning before I go to work, I won't have lunch for probably another, better part of 5 hours almost. We're pretty close, 4.5, 5 hours or so, I believe, 4 to 5 hours. So I got to get something in between there, and so I would blend my second meal. And then this summer, I was like, I don't know, I just won't blend it. Yeah, I started blending it again. It's awesome. So it's 100 grams of oats, a scoop and a half of whey isolate, 75 grams of frozen blueberries, and then somewhere between, depending on the day, 30 to 50 grams of frozen spinach as well. Okay, and a gram of sea salt. So I just blend that up. Just literally sat at the gym real quick in a little chair, sit down until I got it down, which is super easy to get down. I can just chug it, but I try to just sip on it to kind of slow it a little bit, so it gives my body time to start to slowly, absorb it instead of just pounding it in one go. But yeah, second meal done already. So a little tip for you too. I'm super OCD, but you don't have to do this. It's just something that it really works well for my brain. I literally time my meals. And what I mean by that is the second, or like within the minute after I'm done eating a meal, depending on, the time of day and what I need to get done, I will set a timer for somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours. And then, by the time that timer goes off, I better be sitting down or close to sitting down for another meal, put it that way. It's just an accountability thing. And to be honest with you, I don't need to do it, but it's also just a timing thing. So then I know consistently I can literally time out my meals and say, it's going to take me this long roughly to eat it. And then I got 2 to 2.5 hours in between. Here's when I'll be done eating for the day. Great little tip. Don't use it if you don't want to, if it's going to stress you out. But for me, it works really well for me in my brain and my schedule. So I literally just time it, for the most part. So anyways, leg B day, crushed, awesome. 20 out of 10 workout, guys. It was sweet. Join me tomorrow. And actually, I should say join myself and my gorgeous wife. She will be making a little cameo tomorrow. We have a couples edition rest day vlog. Kind of doing a little, well, you'll see. I don't want to give it away, but just an interesting little take, and kind of see a little bit more on the inside of my personal life, and also, kind of my wife's role and what I do with bodybuilding and all that. I know I'm no Mr. Olympia, but to get to that highest level, man, having a solid support system is really, really important. And my wife is the most important person in my life, and the biggest help in my life for sure. And then, obviously my daughter and my family, my parents, they're all huge in that as well. But my wife is definitely number one for sure. So anyways, join me tomorrow for that special edition video. I'm excited. I'll probably start having her on more. She wants to come on, so I'm not forcing her into it. So join us tomorrow for that. Make sure you like and share the video. Keep dropping comments below. I keep getting more and more comments and feedback and video ideas. I really, really appreciate that, guys. It's awesome for me, and it's a huge help to me. So thank you for those who are commenting. And if you haven't, shoot a comment. You don't have to, of course, but try it out. I'll respond. I promise. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. But for today, on this beautiful, beautiful sunny day here in Michigan, I'm the Natty teacher, and summer school is out. I will catch y'all tomorrow.